Welcome everybody here to the top 5 plays of the week from Esports U, Clutch Key helping to bring you those top plays, so let's get things started. In Valorant, it's the Loyola Maryland Greyhounds taking on the Army West Point Black Knights, taken to map number 1 on Icebox, and the Greyhounds winning the pistol round, so it's looking good for them to go up 10-4, but with the Marshal, it's MIB Police from the Black Knights on the case.
At the same time, but that opportunity won't be afforded. D-Sung, though, could turn this into a rifle, potentially more. MIB Police from the Raptors doing work with the Marshal and might even present a greater threat. Jumping down with the turn into a right-click hero. A Marshal in hand, and MIB Police secures a 4K. Force round be damned.
A heroic play from MIB Police, but it would be the Black Knights taking Icebox and winning the series 2-0. Let's go to Rocket League with the St. Lawrence Saints and the Bengals of Buffalo State. Down by 1 in game number 3, and the Bengals are looking for that equalizer in the final minute of the game. Luckily, Jesco decides that, yeah, overtime is probably a good thing going into the last minute.
It's hard in order to even think about getting an insurance goal here.
Oh boy, it does feel like SLU as well, just trying to play survival mode. No, maybe they're thriving instead. A good bouncer from Elmo Fingers does get past one defender. Turks moving this across the width of the field. The pinch, finding the midfield here. Good catch from Jesco, putting a shot on target as well. Jesco!
Overtime, it would go in game number 3, and actually the Saints would win overtime, but as for the series, it would be all Buffalo State taking the dub 4-1. Overwatch 2 action with the Great Danes of Albany and the Spartans of UNC Greensboro. Third map on Havana, and the Great Danes want to cap first point in just under a minute. But Magix has a trick up their sleeve, and in fact, they might have more than one.
Out of here, they want to get that kill, and they're doing it. Jesse, they are doing it. Now Magix is back on the field. Lobs Nick's head, oh my god! Showing Volks in the business end of that too. The payload is still being contested, and it's all, oh my.
Not only is Magix won a sniper, but the Spartans had a one of their own in the form of a broom, as the Spartans would go on to win the series 3-0. To League of Legends, where the Polar Bears of Ohio Northern take on the Dukes of James Madison. 12th minute in game number 2, and the Polar Bears want their second dragon. On the Kiana, though, Shomi is about to show us what robbery on the Rift looks like.
Great rotation onto this. They got the first dragon. They are likely to pick up the second here, and the Shomi can somehow make this work.
Well, they're trying, and over the wall, they got a ward and said snipe. And the steal! The steal from Shomi said you only...
Dragon stolen, and even with the kill lead, the Polar Bears also got that stolen away. In the end, Dukes would come out with the dub 2-0. Let's head to Overwatch 2 action with the Aggies of Utah State taking on the Rams of Colorado State. Down a map on Nepal, and the Rams need to make some sort of comeback to force map 3. Well, a crazy team fight leads up to why Death Trap lives up to the tag.
You're going to be in a great position. This Dragon Strike might be able to create some separation, but Cass is just taking heads.
Cass rolls ahead of the finish right now. There's the Terror Search. Is he going to find anything? Is the question. Immortality View having to be used. This Death Trap finds a triple. Oh my goodness. Death Trap finds a fourth. He's going to find the team kill. It's now the Rams would force map number 3, but the Aggies were too strong for the rest of the contest, and the Utah State Aggies get the sweep 3-0. To Summoner's Rift in League, where the Aztecs of San Diego State take on the Spartans of San Jose State. Game 1 and all the advantages to the Aztecs 30 minutes in, and Devour on the Caitlyn makes sure it stays that way to march to the base.
Half health. Actually, with the Chaos Storm dropped as well, that might be the goal.
We're at the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. Let's make some noise.
Oh, and it's going to
jumped into it.
Corner judges go for 1, 2, yeah, he needs more. And
they're doing even more here. You gotta touch the point. Mr. College walks it in. Toy Boy is gonna drop.
Knife him.
Right out in front.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1, running.
Hello everybody, and of course welcome into Esports U2. My name is Visionary One, and alongside me tonight is the amazing Chad Lances. How are you doing tonight, brother?
I feel amazing, more so thanks to you being all nice and complimentary. So I'm so thankful that I get to come back from a bit of a casting hiatus to cast along such a nice person as yourself, Visionary One, and cast a very exciting matchup, as you see at the top, SNHU versus MU, good old Molloy, which is a rematch of an exciting finals of the past, but now we're seeing it in semifinals form.
Yeah, it's just one of those things to where, you get that essentially that other side of the bracket, the 2-3 matchup, ending up here and culminating here. Obviously, the other side of the bracket is going to be decided today as well. And we're going to be able to bring you that final for the ECC next week. But we're going to be focused on this matchup today. And obviously, these two faced off in the regular season, went in favor of SNHU 2-0. They played Pearl and Haven. So those are two very different maps, right? With Pearl kind of being a little bit more lurky. There's a giant mid presence that you have to cover. Rotations are extremely long versus Haven. Obviously short, obviously 3 sites. Pearl was a lot closer than Haven was, but today with the maps, Chad Lancis, we have something a little bit different coming up.
Yeah, I believe we're going to be seeing those come up on screen. First map was Ascent actually ended up being banned. So yeah, we have Icebox and Fracture taken away. The picks are actually Lotus and Haven. Interestingly enough, that Molloy went with Lotus, a 3-lane map similar to Haven is, and they already lost SNHU on Haven. I imagine that it's going to be a similar tough time for them for Lotus, but maybe they have some things cooking. I know they have like a chamber one trick, like specialist is a better term, I guess, just to say, instead of one trick, a chamber specialist on their team, who definitely can use up a lot of really interesting challenge angles to be able to instantly teleport to safety. So maybe they can work out some of that magic on Lotus.
Maybe they can, but there's also the key factor of in professional play, we're actually seeing Chamber used a lot more on Lotus as well. He's still, that's one of the areas where even after the giant nerfs that he took, which were warranted, by the way, as somebody who mained Chamber for that long, it was kind of broken. But like, it's one of the few maps. Now, Haven, obviously you can get away with it, but it's a lot harder to play those angles that everybody's kind of used to seeing an operator on C site and be able to get to safety. So Lotus, you have some of those front back angles, especially C long, that you can really utilize and still use that trademark appropriately. So feel pretty good about that, of course, and utilizing that chamber. We're going to see, of course, when we get over to Agent Select and when all that comes through, how it's going to end up shaking out. I do have to say that I'm excited for this just because of the sheer fact that SNHU, they have history. This was the finals last season. Recent matchup 2-0 in favor. So it was really in Molloy's court to kind of try to counter this playstyle because they've already beat them on Pearl. They've already beat them on Haven. So you're going to have to run this Lotus comp extremely effectively if you want a chance to win.
I feel like calling somebody a chamber one trick is kind of warranted when their name literally is chamber only in game. So perhaps more than just a specialist, I think it's fair call at this point. The pickup for the side of SNHU, as we're still waiting for some hovers to get locked in for Molloy, is a pretty standardized composition. Something that we're seeing a lot of teams pick up is the double controller. An old meta option of Astra Viper is coming back for the newest map of Lotus. We have new maps, metas have changed, but old comp still stands strong. The Astra Viper works so well with cross map coverage, the Killjoy as well. So since it's a very spread out map, 3 lanes, naturally the defense will be very thin. So having cross map presence with those agents alongside a Sky and a Jet who can combine fight for a main control. They can also work for lurks and push out for map control as well. It's just overall a really solid composition. It's very well rounded.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy it. Personally, if we're rocking double controller over on Lotus, I kind of prefer seeing the Harbor Viper combo just because the ability to wall off all the sites. Also, Cascades are super effective on this map with the long sight lines, especially that you see on A. And it's a really easy way to get control of door, right? Astra, you're going to be able to do that. And you also have the global presence where you can smoke anywhere. So it becomes a little bit easier that way to maybe kind of lurk a little bit more and kind of open up that space for your team or open up those flanks for yourself. I don't necessarily mind it. I just think that honestly, like Harbor kind of fits this map like a glove in my opinion, but we're going to see what they can bring out with the Astra here. Of course, we have Molloy on attack right now, and it's just a dart over to this box. The rat angle, we're already seeing it happen, and it is gorgeous.
You're also seeing the push out through mid from SNHU with that Sky Jet combination, as we talked about. Already having so much coverage in mid, having the cut across as well, and getting a triple kill for the teams thus far.
Yeah, this is a typical pistol round is all I can say about that. The push out of mid, the combination of the person ratting behind the box, and Rube's going to have to do everything. And unfortunately there, the Ghost is going to lose to the Classic. That is going to be a very quick round 1 in favor of SNHU, and I have to say, the overall aggression and the cohesion and just a pistol round push, and now you get to see probably the same exact strat on an eco. This is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, the anti-Geo is going to go strong. That Marshall's picked up for Agron, which was going to just go solo hold for C long control. Might have that Sky in the back pocket. Like, Jets love having that pocket initiator, especially flashing ones, and it worked out great for them last round. And I imagine it's going to continue through this whole series.
It's going to have to at this point. There's an updraft, some nice chip damage done. You see the dash is taken away as well, so Angram's going to have the struggle bus ahead of him. It actually gets one, and Hilton finds two. Okay, make it three. Hilton, are you kidding me? How do you get away with a ghost on that and get yourself three?
Yeah, and the final fight is coming in right now from Bliss. Has that stunned up as well from Hilton, who definitely was the MVP of that round. And the confidence, the aggression, and honestly a little bit of arrogance from SNHU saying, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and take this fight anyway. It's just two of us and probably the whole team, but we're going to push forward to mountain instead of escaping to sea. Just knowing they have the weapon control, the confidence, and their skill as well. And that comes from the fact that SNHU won the finals last year 2-0. They beat Molloy earlier this semester as well. So obviously they feel confident that we can do it again. We've done it twice so far. But man, that could be very easily punished if Molloy had rifles that round.
But they didn't. So good job taking advantage of the ecos that were presented in front of you, right? You got to make sure everybody gets their eco frags, as the KO is going to find some utility here and spot out a couple on A. It really is Max. Are we sure that is Max? Getting a nice spray through the Viper wall there. Not going to really find anything, though, through that toxic screen. And a nice little lurk up B is happening right now. And C-Dubs is only holding this with the Sheriff. It's going to be dangerous sledding ahead, but the Poison Orb is going to be activating, potentially delaying this push just a bit longer. And you see both sightlines of that were smoked. They also had the Astral Cloud out in front of it. So seeing that double controller kind of come into play, stall some pushes, but that A main presence still being taken for sure. It's looking like they might hit through door and just collapse on this B site, and C-Dubs is already tagged up.
Yeah, that push out from Astra from C long, it gives so much knowledge to SNHU, realizing, okay, we just have 4 people strong on the side of the map. The rotation to C, though, is actually such a great call, realizing nobody's giving us resistance. We won't just plant on B and then be completely surrounded by SNHU. Pushing through a C site should give them a lot better post-play opportunity. Plus, these cutoffs working out pretty well, at least getting a 1-for-1 trade.
You get the 1-for-1, but Peachy's going to be able to find 2.
Wow.
Peachy finds 2 with the Bulldog, potentially 3 here. Doing work, and now this spike hasn't even gone down yet. Chamberlain and Larry are going to do right there, so it's still going to be dangerous. They just slowly back out, trying not to make any noise. Chamber sliding back out. Going to win the gunfight against Angran, though, and now it's a 2v1. 10 seconds left to plant. The plant is going to be secured on backside, and it's going to be up to Peachy now in a 1v2 to try to get both of these angles cleared. And it's going to be very difficult on this C site with the differing elevations, the differing perspectives, and Chamber's going to be able to pick up 3 this round. And MU, hey, they're going to pick up a gun round. Was it a little volatile? Was it a little bit more guns than they would have liked to probably give up? Absolutely, but at the end of the day, on the board, it shows 2-1.
Yeah, the trade 1-for-1 from Rubentus honestly was a... I don't like it very much because you're playing an anti-bonus. You're kind of donating a trade, which keeps it even 44, and you give them a weapon upgrade in that situation. So I'm not stoked about that. I don't know how in the world Peachy got a double kill on the way in from Molloy. Perhaps they overcooked a little bit, went a little bit too ahead of themselves, and left themselves too exposed to that mound hold. But big props to Peachy, at least making that a really expensive anti-bonus from Molloy.
I mean, that's all you can really ask for, right? Just to make it pricey. I mean, both teams at the level that they're at, you're expecting them to go ahead and be able to take care of their gun rounds versus, you know, the eco, essentially the bonus round in round number 3. As we see, it really is Max. Again, I feel like this is the key to Lotus as a whole, is just establishing early A presence, being able to get that, and just being able to threaten the use of door. I think it's just massive as far as map control goes, because it forces basically everybody to hold their positioning.
Yeah, it's such a big chunk of the map, honestly. There's so much just geography to the landscape to hold. I think if you're not going to have A presence, then at least having C and Agron. Now with a good lineup. Flash, though. What a beautiful flash from Molloy, just in case. Good precaution. We knew the operator was there earlier because of the kill first blood in this map, or this round.
Yeah, man, I mean, you can never be too careful with an operator, right? I mean, one body shot takes you down. It's definitely not worth the swing right there. Molly coming out, little crossfire coming from both sides. The smoke is going to come out, however, so it's going to be blocked off for now, as Angran now going to have this angle available as Rubentus looking for some information, not going to find it. The knife, the 0 point, actually gets shot out as well, as almost everybody's made it into this B site. But you're going to get collapsed, and Angram's going to find one. C-Dubs finds another tie with 2 on site, and that is a quick cleanup right there. And just a great showing of the map control that SNHU and the patience that they have to be able to sit on their sites, not allow the rotates to come through, and to show enough presence to kind of funnel everybody towards B, because it's really easy to hit a door when you're in trouble.
It was a beautiful push and pull though on the B side as well. They had all 3 angles triangulated on the side. They knew Molloy can only come in from one location, so they just kind of had one person peek, duck out, another person peeked another angle, ducked out, another person peeked another angle, ducked out. So they just had like each of them got a kill, and because one kill happened, the threat's there. Molloy members had to look at where that last kill came from, so they're always a step behind.
It's just a phenomenal job, as we're going to see. Of course, the 0 point come out again. I don't think they got anybody that time. Might have gotten Jet, of course, for SNHU, but they're still going to hold this angle. They don't care. As that is your job on A site. And look at the presence through door right now. Although the nice guiding light's going to come in and delay that push just a little bit, but it's always hard to win these operator fights up close. But Agram's going to do it anyway.
Yeah, this go round is not going well for Molloy whatsoever. I don't even know if they're going to get a single kill from this, because Agran and Hilton are still dominating while working together on a part of the map. Oh, I had to do it to him, I guess.
That's just rude,
a message. Sometimes about sending a message.
That's just, honestly, that's just getting bullied, right? Like that's how I feel like whenever I play a breach in a match, and I'm just like, okay, I'm stunned. Okay, I'm flashed twice. Okay, I'm dead. That's great. That's great. Like Skydog right there. Of course, the guiding light coming out as well, and SNHU just continues to dominate. But it's really this dynamic duo of Hilton and Agran that are just putting so much pressure on whatever site they play together, and they're doing a good job of rotating the sites as well. Right, like they're not just playing A, they're not just playing the default operator angle. They're like, hey, we're gonna play C, we're gonna play A. I'm just ready for them to play B and push out of the middle like they did on Pistol again.
And while the rest of the team isn't being as flashy as Hilton and Agran have been doing with getting kills, the rest of the team is using their utility as that Viper Astra Killjoy just stalls so well that allows time for Hilton and Agran to rotate over and always have a numbers advantage.
Yeah, they have a numbers advantage here as well, but they're all in tree. You're gonna see that poison orb come out as well if they activate this.
Nice look by Chamber Only.
Yeah, I know. Chamber Only actually gets a pick on Hilton, so the top frag is removed. In the door, everybody's collapsing out of this right now. And, I mean, you see SNHU with B site completely open right now. You see that aggressive space is being taken on C, but they're going to have to retreat to it because it's an operator, and you don't want to be pushing angles that you can't clear out, as Peachy is going to get timing diff so hard right here if this smoke goes down. No, Peachy actually finds a frag, and C-Dubs found one on the site as well. The plant goes down. Shots missed by Peachy, but there's going to be 2 here. They're going to find the kills as this collapse and this retake attempt happens right now, and it's just over. Agran pops the Blade Storm, secures the round.
Yeah, I'm not stoked. I like the lurk from Chamber Only, but I'm not stoked about continuing to push through without destroying the turret, because the turret clarifies, okay, Chamber Only went across, but then never came back across. So obviously it's going to be on a spine. C-Dubs, super hyper aware of it, barely looks around the corner and shoots and kills Chamber Only through that corner of the wall when the operator in their hands, the Tour de Force from Chamber Only, did not find the target themselves. So it's a little bit of a overheat in that situation there. But I will say, as this timeout comes through for Molloy, which I think is a very good time to take a timeout, things not going to go their way. It's a little bit of a tough composition to work out for them. They have to use a lot of lurking options because of the chamber. Naturally on this map, chamber has to be a lurker. That's the only way you can really find success. So it really feels like Molloy needs to use that Omen to try to get control over C main or A main. And then from there, just utilizing the Jet, Sage, KO trio to either push another site or push through the site that Omen's on, push the site that Chamber's on, but really need to have like Chamber Omen lurking from 2 of the 3 sites, while the rest of the team either pushes with one of them or separated to keep the defense of SNHU spread apart. The problem also is part of the reason why we see these compositions so often. SNHU combination, they don't have to be everyone on that site. They can use that turret to be able to spot check for them. They can use a lot of utility from across the map to still find success and support each other, make it feel like more people on that site than there really are.
And that's the biggest thing for me, just looking at the compositions in general. If you had to just like blind taste test this and not even tell me who's on the opposing teams, who's going to be successful just based on the comp, I would tell you it's SNHU, literally just
Yep,
because the
same.
information that they're able to gain without having to peek anything. You have the guiding light, you have
Lose
the
pressure,
turret, and you have a ton of pressure over here on the B site, and everybody's having to back out. And it's literally just because the Viper's Pit gets popped before the KO ultimate is used right there. So, I mean, it's just, you canceled nothing. You lost all that map space, and now you have to regroup and decide what you're going to hit again. And again, it is no lurk coming out, as that's a magnificent guiding light. I'm going to have to steal that location right there, coming from Waterfall, able to throw it over the top. That information is going to be found that there's currently 2 on C site, though, as they're just continuing to kind of press forward here as C-dubs, just taking advantage of the little space he's afforded in the Viper's Pit.
That Waterfall's flash spy is great for every flasher. Even the Gecko's Dizzy, you can just throw it straight up, pick it right back up, keep recycling it through Waterfall. I will say this pressure from aggro, having this control with the operator in hand, it's going to be a problem. Oh, switch to Vandal, sorry. It doesn't have operator anymore. Whoa!
They gave Peachy the off? That is something. Also, 2 Guardian kills, also something for sure. It really is. Wait, what? It's 3 with the Guardian. The res is going to come through. And now it's a 3v1. Ty has to get the value here. One's going to fall. You got to remember, Rubensis has 100 health. Right now, Sage on 5 HP. Going to be at 35 by the time this is over. So not even going to be able to handle a Vandal bullet. You still have to get the plant down. You're taking too much time. Get the plant down. 7, 6, 5. It's ticking down. KJ is going to be coming from heaven. The plant is finally going to go. But right now, this is essentially almost a 1v1 because Ty has full shields.
Oh, this wall is not good. You rotate right around it. It's a little shallow. Just tucked away into tree. Nothing to flash. Not good for Killjoy to really clear us out. So it's going to have to be a really good spray transfer situation. Good flick.
Out.
Good job with the turret just to get a little distraction.
One enemy remaining.
Is there an opportunity?
No,
It's
no.
not half. It's not half. Going for the knife. Yeah. It's.
Is there time?
You see Ty.
I don't think there's time.
No time here. Effective enough delay, but 0.62 is going to show on the clock. I just wanted to give Ty that moment of breath that we would all be taking. Right there is, he's just swinging violently, and then somehow Rubentis just burned his entire magazine of a Vandal trying to somehow spray down the turret. the counter strikes weren't working appropriately, so
yeah,
Molloy gonna get another round here. I don't know if it's the complete platonic ideal, but Agran has an operator again. We're gonna see, of course, their presence back on the C side. It seems to be another stack. I almost want to see Molloy defaults a bit more and try to get more information on the map, but when you have this presence on C, it's almost like a complete no-go.
Yeah, they completely giving up C control yet again, so SNHU will know, okay, we can just go ahead and full hold A site, and we can all just pinch B if we need to later on. Just the Viper spot checking wins the fight against Chamber only, realizing the composition from Molloy succeeds only with lurks, so they're completely on lurk watch. Good diligence by SNHU.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good site take right here, but nobody is cleared out in this little cubby yet, leaving Peachy just kind of here. The plant's going to go down. Is Peachy going to try to swing the plant? And it really is Max finding one right there, getting a gun for themselves as well on this eco. That is massive. As Ty, tough sledding ahead, looking like a double swing is going to happen. There's 1 kill, there's 2 for Ty. Sheesh. He says double swing, don't care. Bring more people at me. That is beautiful. The lockdown going to be used as well. This is going to be a little bit difficult to deal with, but Bliss is going to find one of their own, be able to get back and heal. So we're now straggling into a 3v2 retake scenario.
Hill with the perfect lurk timing, saying, y'all want to try lurking? I'll show you lurking. Finishes off the round. It's going to be 6-2 for SNHU. Definitely seem to be ahead of the curve for the macro here. Completely reading what Molloy needs to do with their team composition.
It's just rough because I feel like this composition you have to frag out, right? You either have to frag out or you have to get so much value out of the 0 point every single time you throw it with KO. It just, you have to know kind of where the default is. You definitely want to know where Hilton and Agran are, right? Like that's the key point to me right there. And so without discovering that, there's a little bit of hesitancy, and you see them just continue to group up towards sites. No one's really willing to take those 1v1 fights. Now, do they have a good read on the fact that Agran is not on the C site? Yes. Does it matter because Hilton is here? I'm not sure yet.
Really is Max up to bat. Players stepped up the past 2 rounds and really needs to do so if the other team's going to find more success. Chamber only, though, just sending it. Does not care about it. No Nanostorm says, hold my beer, I'm going in. Or perhaps Apple Juice, I don't know how old he is. It is collegiate. May not be 21, I don't know.
Yeah, you know, it just all depends on if you're a freshman or if you're a senior, right? That's literally it. So, but yeah, we'll just call it Gatorade, right? Hold my Gatorade.
Gatorade, yeah. Hold my water.
They're professional athletes, right? So
there you go.
My Gatorade there is Ty, now actually representing the. Ty's only died once.
Yeah.
Like they did go down once to Spike, but in Valorant that doesn't count as a death. So you can always say for the cause and just YOLO right into that blast radius. I just, it seems like Molloy is kind of just second guessing themselves at this point, and almost like running it down just because they're being extremely aggressive onto these sites, right?
Oh, not a single bullet hits, man.
No, like you got to find some value out of that. There's no dash available. You know that they're going to be somewhere peeking over there, and that's a great spray coming through for C-Dubs. He's going to get popped as well, but now you're now collapsed on A side again, and looking for the lurk. Ty coming from behind. So if you try to rotate out of this, you're going into somebody who is so far 12-1.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tough spot for Killjoy to hold everybody, but because Rubentus gets a kill, the rest of the team kind of turns back, and they're like back and forth. They seem to be not sure where they want to go right now. They keep going back and forth in A lobby.
Yeah, and obviously no idea that the lurk is actually there behind them as well. So this is just going to be more and more difficult as time burns off the clock. Now there is still a minute left. There's time that they can work with as, you know, they find the value onto Hilton with that 0 point finally, but they've only spotted one. They don't know where the rest of this team is. And here is Ty, says hello, but Blue shuts them down. That lurk was providing so much value, and look at the from the shadows coming out. It's on C. Just preemptively, as Abraham is going to take one out right there, and Hilton is aware. This is going to be tough sledding ahead right here. 2v3, make that a 1v3. No plant going down just yet, as Rubentus has to swing 14 angles at once just to make sure he can stay alive. And it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
That was a really good opportunity that Rubentus made by getting a kill inside, like evening out the board. Getting a kill onto Ty as well to stop that flank coming in by Bliss. Also great. And then they decided just to flood onto the side of B, and they just got caught on the backside, caught on the front side. And Larry kind of overcooked a little bit for that flank option. It was a little telegraph that Hilton was definitely aware from. So Molloy definitely having the start of a good round, but then just overcooked a little bit, getting a little too ahead of themselves again, which is something that we've seen a few times so far.
But, I mean, we've seen it a few times, right? But it's not just that. It also comes down to the fact that we continue to see Molloy just kind of give up map control, right? And so when you have that much map control, somebody can sit on C in case Omen, you know, uses the front of the shadows over there. Somebody else can go ahead and sit on B and get those opening frags right there. As C-Dubs is going to find one, make it two, looking for more. They're pushing forward. C-Dubs not going to get more. The Stinger's just a little bit too powerful, as Ty's going to come from the door as well. Get two more. There's Hilton. There's a defuse. So that's what I'm trying to say, though, and the point I was making earlier. Chadlantis, it's the sheer fact that at the end of the day, just Molloy is not getting, they're not getting enough map control to be able to secure these plants at all, because they're being flanked from every single side, and that chamber lurk hasn't really been fruitful yet. And on top of that, like, you basically have to play in a pack with KO, Jet, and Sage, because you're not going to find value out of that anywhere else, right? So while Omen does have that global smoke utility, it takes a lot longer to use than, say, an Astros. And so you're not able to get any map control, and so you're just being retaked every single second you have.
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons why we see so many double positions on Lotus, because Omen's using all these smokes to get into the site, and even if they make it into there, then they have no more smokes for the post plant. They have no way of stalling and no way to burn time, no way of just kind of funneling focus into one area, and then we can refocus this other area after clearing it, those kinds of things. They're left just having to walk and just stand in the sight lines of SNHU so often.
Yeah, and I mean, you see it again. There was 4 people in tree. Now, are they going to fake this and fall back out? Absolutely. But look at the presence taken again. They're completely boxed in from all corners with Ty and the Viper coming around, just waiting patiently for this flank, as they're looking to actually go up and progress up stairs here. I do like this. It's a little bit of a different look. Might catch him off guard, or it might just collapse on its face. That flash not going to find any value there. CW, it is my bloody Valentine all over again.
I liked it if they dropped an Omen smoke covering their approach on the backside, or had one person watching the backside who could be like the chamber, perhaps, who can then TP to the team and be like, and if you're not going to find success being the lurk, maybe you can find success being an anti-lurk for your team, you know, something like that. But just slowly going on the angle, I like that play going through the stairs and everything like that, but doing it slowly like that with no coverage in the backside, you're just asking to be pinched, especially since SNHU have done a lot of lurks so far. Ty's done it, Hilton's done it. We've seen it from multiple players in SNHU, so why would you not expect them to do that again in that moment?
It's not just that. I wouldn't even call them lurks at this point. They're just effectively taking map control. It's not even a lurk. They know that, you know, they're putting 4 or 5 on site. They only have to get one gunfight to be able to secure a third of the map, essentially. And when that's happening, you just get free space. It's like literally landing on free parking in Monopoly.
This fight's going through. Chamber only taking the first pick. Larry getting exchanged, so I'll hold my point for the next round as the fights are already breaking out.
We're gonna see, you know, look, the whole point of this is C-Dubs gets one is map control. Look at everybody pushing up B, pushing up A. There's a good blind right there from Hilton, able to get a pick off of that as well. Knows that Larry is low, actually has the opportunity. One's concussed, and luckily enough that Asher Smoke comes out in time because Hilton has the spike. Hilton has the spike, so Hilton's able to get completely out of dodge. But look, once again, Peachy able to come through door and find 2. There's only 1 remaining, and I'm sure right now Peachy is screaming, hey, A is clear, come back to us.
Bliss had a double back, walk straight into the arms of Ty, which honestly, that was a good showcase of macro play. That was just like SNHU still ahead of the macro curve on attack. They instantly realized we're being stopped at A. We'll maintain presence here, so Molloy thinks that we're going to still try to fight for it, keep fighting through. The players there wonderfully be able to stay alive long enough to maintain that like bluff a little bit, the misdirection, while they have other members pushing through for lurks on those timings. I will say though, the breath of life I will kind of give as encouragement for Molloy and fans watching for them is with the ability for Chamber to be able to push out and teleport back with aggressive looks. Jet can do the same thing. Omen can fight for A main. This is a composition that can find success on defense, but when they're disadvantaged on weaponry, they do find themselves losing on trades until Bliss answers right back with a long-range stinger kill. Wow.
Not only that.
And walls off spike.
Yeah. You got that. Oh my, we have the new skin already in the game. That's beautiful to see.
Was that the FAMAS?
Yeah, that is the FAMAS, but Ty gonna get the beautiful peek on the headshot wallbang, and Bliss takes down 1, and Valorant's obviously known for its very precise gunplay, so, you know, running gunning with the Bulldog, completely acceptable.
Well, I mean, if somebody is like 1 or 2 shots from death, I mean, you're going to connect some in that situation.
I mean, you would hope, but it seems like every time I shoot a Bulldog, the bullets just don't register. Like, they just disappear on the map. It never works.
Say with the forward scouting of the 0 point for Rubentus, the ability that Sage can use as a wall and slow orbs completely stall the approach of a team that they're trying to crash a site. Omen can one-way both C-Long and A main. Jet and Chamber can be fairly self-sufficient with aggressive and eager peeks and pushing out for map control. There is an ability for Molloy to find a lot of advantages on defense to be able to make a comeback here happen. But being down 2-12 at this point, it's a little bit of a miraculous comeback if they do find a way of doing so. Perhaps if they had like a won the pistol, it would be a completely different story. If they had like a 8-4 half or something like that, it could be a completely different story. But here we find themselves with the backs against the wall for sure in this map, and instantly trying to figure out where SNHU is going, which instantly found a rotation angle again themselves, and Molloy being a little bit behind on the tempo.
Yeah, I mean, the tempo isn't really bad being a little bit late to when you have like a Bucky, but you have to be able to find value out of that Larry with a jumping Bucky shot. There's your value. Hilton and Ty combining for a couple. It's a great flash right there as well. Unfortunately, not able to tag up Hilton. C-Dub's going to find Bliss as Chamber trades that out as well. It's a 3v2, and we have to mention that right now the gun economy is certainly in favor of SNHU right there. Hilton gonna pick off 1, and this is for map 1 point right here. Chamber only using the headhunter finds 1. You got 6 bullets left. You need 2 to win this round. Let's see if they can do it as they push onto the A site. Finds it, actually picks up the Vandal and gets the headshot. The flick! No! Chamber only keeps MU alive.
What a clutch from Chamber only. Save that one for your TikTok. Get that up there. The head nodding there as well, as if he knows. Yeah. That's going up. That's getting posted. The GG Chamber sticker and everything. Honestly, considering the force on the second round and lost that, their economy was in shambles. Thankfully, playing Chamber in that moment, so you can use the Headhunter instantly, one click, get the Vandal off the ground, and then just mastery of that weapon in hand as well. Keeps the team alive. Now having an economic advantage over SNHU. It's still a tremendous mountain to climb this map, but this is definitely a better look than they had last round.
Certainly is. That was a huge swing round right there for Molloy. I mean, you have to give credit where credit's due. They were on a disadvantage with the weapons. They're going to go ahead and use the Seekers as well, and they're just running it down. A great spray, going to tag up Hilton pretty well here as well. Shorty in hand, going to find that value again. Larry is just a menace with these shotguns.
It is going to be a phantom grab by Agron then. It's going to be a 4v4 yet again. And last time, SNHU gave up a lot of 1v1s against Chamber only. Maybe a little bit of hubris getting ahead of themselves, that situation. Will they do a better job working together for these fights in the post plant?
I think they will. If Chamber only goes ahead and drops on this one, though, it's going to be rough as Bliss finds another headshot. Peachy just kind of sitting back here, waiting to see if they can find some value on somebody just lurking up a little bit too far. That's a great job right there by Viper, just sitting there. Oh, and you're going to get the gravity well as well coming in. But the wall.
It's just a stinger.
Oh, Peachy.
My ult's ready.
Not like this.
Got to target a star.
One more.
Attackers.
That'll do it. They're so close. They almost had to come back and look real from Molloy, but just good awareness to be able to shoot through that box in the situation. The Stinger's able to burst through that forming wall just at the right timing. I like the ideas from Molloy in those situations. The defensive definitely looked a little bit better than the offense. Just maybe if they started on defensive side, we could have seen a little bit more momentum, things like that. Could have been a closer game, but the defending half from SNHU is just too dominant.
I mean, it was. And again, it all kind of goes back to having that global smoke presence like you talked about. Like, it's so important to have map control on a map that is as wide, that takes as long to rotate as Lotus does. And you kind of saw that map control being taken way too efficiently by SNHU. And I mean, you kind of just giving that up because they didn't have that Sentinel for flank watch, really. I mean, you ran a Sage, you ran a Chamber, and Chamber's trademark has been nerfed into the ground to the point where you're not really able to watch flank and push anything at the same time, especially on a map as wide as Lotus. So, you know, maybe you're right. If they started on defense, it definitely looked a lot better. I love the idea for the wall there. Just, 17 bullets from a Stinger is going to break it. And then the Sheriff, one of the most penetration heavy guns in the game, finds the value. It's just all around great play by SNHU. They go up 1-0. And again, that is on the map pick of their opposition. So they're going to be going home to Haven after this, another 3-sided sword and air. Chad, I want to give you 1 second. Anything else you want to break down before we go ahead and give ourselves a breather?
I don't think it's all over for Molloy yet, especially if they like playing the Chamber and Jet. I think Haven gives a lot better sight lines to be able to pull off with ops and things like that, but they definitely seem to be behind the curve on macro compared to SNHU. The composition had a lot of flaws in it that made it a lot harder to execute, so perhaps they'll switch to something that might be a little bit easier, and maybe just being on a more familiar map of Haven. Even though Lotus was their map pick, Haven still has familiarity. Maybe that can give them a little more life in the lungs.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a college Valorant series played without Haven once, to be honest with you. So we're definitely going to familiar territory, and we're going to be right back with some more familiar Valorant right after this. You won't want to miss it. Stick around. We'll catch you after the break.
Going to be enough off the outset. Goku shut down in the back line, and it's all falling apart for this fight that San Jose chose to take. The ADCs are all together. Piao picked up a kill on the backside. Tabula Rasa's surviving forever. Eventually,
the Aztecs would go on to win game number 1, but something clicks in the Spartans, and San Jose would win the series 2-1. To Valorant with Andromeda taking on the University of Houston Scarlet team. Map number 2 on Fracture, and Andromeda wants to push A site, but Binko is sitting around the corner, and even with little to no utility, Bingo just finds a way to make heads roll.
1-for-1 trade, make it 1-for-2 as Slorth takes down Altier, trying to trade for Orchid. Bingo now trapped in a corner. They're shooting out the Prowlers, and there's not a lot of places that Bingo can go, but now only Slorth being the one peeking. Oh! Bingo! What was that?
Bingo calls bingo on the ace, and it would be Houston who calls game on Fracture as they win the series 2-0.
To come through, it's just playing aimbot.
And that's it from Top Plays of the Week from Esports U. Thanks for watching, everybody, and until next time, this is Clutch Key signing off.
I can't say that. I'll get in trouble. There's one for each game, so teams this weekend, somebody's going to have to explain to TSA why they're coming home with an extra trophy. Fine. We're fine. This is going to be great. Why is everybody staring at me? I'm not even doing anything yet. Is it because I'm in a suit? It looks nice. It's new. I'm stressing. I'm stressing. It's all right. We win these. We absolutely win these. I've never seen us lose these. I love him. I don't remember his name. What is going on, everybody? And oh, we're ready? I'll start over. Okay. What's going on, everybody? We are here at the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup 2022 in Atlanta, Georgia. The players are just now entering the arena for day one. A lot of them had the opportunity to be here yesterday to get jerseys, to get familiar with the area, and to get to know one another. But today, the friendly gloves have to come off, and they are all here. Earlier, I was talking to the mannequin. When they didn't have anything else set up, I could see it from all the way down there, and I thought it was a person. And I stood there for like 5 minutes, and I was like, why is he standing like that? And I thought it was like a smooth criminal. I thought somebody was giving us like a Michael Jackson impression, and then it was a mannequin. I was really embarrassed to admit that. Oh my God, that's a lot of people. Hold on, let's go over this window. Let's go over this window. It just keeps going. There's so many people outside. There are so many people outside. We're gonna interview people when they come in. I don't really want to go outside. It looks like it's gonna rain, and this suit is new. So, oh, there's Doc Haskell. Hi, Doc. How are you? He brings a full notebook with him and like writes notes down. It was pretty insane. He had it yesterday. He's gonna be coming through this metal detector right here. I don't know his name though, but I recognize his hair.
Jen.
You're Jen. All right, we're gonna interview Jen, who's supporting Kennesaw. I'm gonna ask you like a couple of very simple questions. Okay. Are we ready? All right, great. College. I really like Georgia College's color scheme. It's just red, white, and blue, I think, but I think they did it in a really clever way. Mineral area wearing hoodies, even though it is 75 degrees outside here in Atlanta, Georgia. Absolute legends.
If only Nick could hear you. Nick, come back.
If he's over 100 feet away, he can't.
You were whispering something, and he started smiling. I'm like, are you whispering?
Oh yeah, because he's got his headphone in if we're close enough. But
Bless you.
Gesundheit. Gesundheit again. You're welcome. I'm gonna go find him. Oh, there he is. Oh my. Oh, okay. Real stuff is starting. Real stuff. Competitive integrity needs to be upheld. We gotta get out of here. Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble. I get really embarrassed when I get yelled at. 30 is okay. Wow, it's not 10:30 yet.
It's only barely 10.
Woo! All right, it's gonna be a long. Hey, what's up? Surprise interview. Join me over here. We have a cool backdrop. What are we here for?
Rocket League.
Awesome. I'm not going to ask what school you go to because unless you swapped hoodies, that seems pretty clear.
Nope. You know, I got my jersey on with my name on it.
Oh, you do? Show us your jersey. Look at John T. Turbo here. Yeah, that's not his name. I just keep calling him that. Yeah. His name is John, but
my name is John Turbesi.
Yeah, that's not John T. Turbo.
Yeah. I get the message that I'm going to Nebraska where I met you.
Oh, that's so crazy. So context, if we're probably never going to use this, but we're going to talk about it. Turbo and I met at a LAN like over a year ago. That's so crazy. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. I am Sebdolence, joined by a man I have interviewed probably well over 10 times. It's going to be my good friend Neb, here from Bay State Overwatch team. Neb looked at me before he started his last series, and he said, we are not dropping a map for the rest of the day. And so far, he has lived up to that title. But Neb, is there anybody you're thinking, we've got to get them out of the way, we've got to take them down?
No.
No? Just looking at it, each fight's its own, every game? Going into it, just taking it as it comes?
I have the confidence right now that we're not going to drop a single map.
I love Neb because not only is he confident, but he's correct. Bay State is one of the best Overwatch teams I've ever seen. So it's always good to hear. I love the confidence, and I love Bay State, so I hope they do a great job this weekend. So what qualifier, did you win a qualifier to get here?
At-large bid.
We're looking at Rocket League. We're thinking high odds, low odds. Where do we think we're walking away?
I think pretty high. I think we're doing pretty good.
Is there anybody that you're looking at, you're like, please do not let us go up against them unless we absolutely have to?
I mean, really, everybody's good competition, so.
And sorry, what was your name?
Ethan.
Ethan from Mineral Area.
Yep.
Very exciting. Well, Ethan, good luck.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon. What kind of pass? A player pass?
Let me get you a lanyard.
No, you actually have to like tape it to your chest, like really awkwardly with masking tape. Okay. And it's gonna fall off. Yeah. It's gonna be uncomfortable, I promise. That's a guarantee. Okay, cut that, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, good. I'm great, everything's good.
Who do we interview? Who should we interview?
I don't know, I'm just here. I need caffeine.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the ECC Top Plays of the Week. I am Septilence, and I'm super excited.
Hello, and welcome back to Esports U2. My name is Visionary One. Alongside me for map number 1 in the continuation of the series is Chadlantis. My brother, we just saw SNHU essentially dominate Lotus, and we get to go to a very familiar map too, coming up with Haven.
Yeah, I think on Haven as well, I think Sage can find more value, especially if you hang out towards like mid or play for garage control, things like that. You can do some more shenanigans. You can even do some creative Sage walls. I mean, that's something I didn't really see, surprisingly, from Molloy in the first map of Lotus. Is there's also opportunities for creative Sage walls there. You can pop up, get a quick early peek. We saw it from Paper Rex right off the bat at the lock-in back in Brazil about a month and a half-ish ago, where they just play with Sage chamber composition. They lost it, but they also looked really interesting on it, where they just had a pop-up moment. Chamber could take the shot and instantly TP off the top shot. That would be a little bit more risky in that situation, but get that opening kill. Things like that, and especially somebody who is a chamber specialist, such as TN6, who changed their name to Chamber Only. They could be somebody who can be reliable and be relied on to get those opening shots. Somebody who clearly showed that prowess once he got a gun in hand, clutched up a 1v3 round, things like that. So I wonder if maybe it's just because it's a new map, they haven't figured out those little strategies yet. Maybe on Haven we could find some shenanigans, or they just go away from the Sage entirely and they go for something completely different, something more traditional like a Killjoy or even a Cypher, which works really well on this map.
Yeah, it does. It just really depends, because Molloy has to find Mike's secret stuff. I know you were around the same age. You've seen Space Jam, and I have a beautiful cup of Mike's secret stuff right here. I'm not going to lie to you. It's magnificent, right? Just see-through
transparent
enough, you know what I mean? So
that secret stuff is literally a void going into your mouth. That's very interesting, very magical indeed. Just as magical as we get to see Chamber Only not on Chamber. Somebody call him up. We need... Is that a fine? Are we fining him? Is that what's happening right now? Professor Layton, can you let me know?
Can you find somebody for actually bringing out Wingman though? Like the by far absolute cutest thing in all of VAL. Yeah, we give him a pass because it's Gecko. Like,
just because it's
you could be Chamber Only, but dude, you're throwing Pokemon on the map. Like, you can't beat that. Like, it's literally like every single time that I use Wingman, it's like, Wingman, I choose you. Let's see it. So definitely excited to see this comp. Obviously, utilizing Wingman helps out a ton, especially when you want to take B site, right? Because it allows you to not commit a man to actually pushing through B, which can sometimes, you know, there's a lot of angles that you can get peeked from. So you can commit Wingman there and focus more on your extremities. Like, I see so many teams that take B on Haven without having garage control. And that is one of the vital parts of being able to hold that site, is actually having that control over garage. So with Wingman, you can actually commit a man to doing that right after you send Wingman to go plant. So I do think that's ideal. Of course, they're starting out here on defense. So we're going to see a lot of Dizzy. We're going to see a lot of Mosh. Wingman probably going to be reserved for that diffuse action. And SNHU just running a very standard comp here. Cypher, I've seen a lot of teams starting to favor Omen. That Paranoia is so good for retake on this map. And just pretty much bare bones standard comp.
Surprisingly, Omen's not anchoring C site, it's the KO instead, but we'll see exactly why Omen's typically anchor the sites and not KOs, as he's completely locked in the back site and no way of getting out there whatsoever. Sheriff in hand, maybe we could find a kill, but not quite able to land one of the shots. But yeah, completely stuck in the corner, flashed away, 2v1 swarmed. But Omen could smoked and Shrouded stepped out of there. So interesting allocation of resources on the map by Molloy off the bat.
Yep, and Paranoia already thrown through the back of sight. And yeah, there's Larry with 2. So much better look here. Actually getting a pistol round is MU. So they get to hang their hat on that. The defensive round number 1 going to be heading their direction, and they're going to be able to play their force round as well. So the anti-eco going to be in favor of MU on paper. Let's see if they can come out and execute just like they did in this round number 1.
Yeah, well, I focus on the whole Chamber versus Omen thing because that's where the spike was. Everywhere else on the map, Molloy was just coming out on top. They were just winning gunfights, taking advantage situations as far as numbers go, and getting at least trades for each other, if not straight up 1 kills for nothing. So great job by all of Molloy map wide. We'll see how they do for the anti-eco, which I imagine they should look pretty well on it. I'm interested to see how well Hilton goes for lurks, considering Hilton was good on anti-lurk and Lotus, but otherwise was generally playing to support Agron, but won't be able to do that very effectively on the Cypher. See how well the Breach can do instead.
Yeah, and I mean, Breach, it has the util to bully just about anybody that's coming through. And Bliss, check their PC. This isn't functioning normally. They're finding two through the smoke, but C-Dubs actually able to find one. You mentioned that Breach alert coming through, and Ty gonna find another one. This might be danger.
Guns.
A couple of guns recovered as well. I mean, C-Dubs on a sliver of HP, but I don't really think that matters as I mean, you get the plant down here, you get a couple guns off of it. I think that's a win. Is C-Dubs, I think, is the only one with a weapon currently, just due to the fact that the Marshal is not going to be good for a retake situation. But Ty, again, going to swing out. Chamber only going to find one on the Gecko. Here's the swing from Rubentus. It is going to be secured. Is it costly? Yes, but at this point, I really think Molloy has to take any round that they can get. They have to start to build that lead, because we've seen how SNHU can kind of just swing everything, and Rubentus with a little bit of BM here, hitting the gritty.
The gritty. They just want us to get what we want. Wingman defusing.
Nope.
All good. I get it. They're shopping for weapons. That was like a... Weapons were all over the place, so they want to make sure they find the best ones to save into the next round. It's 2 Spectres, what they'll grab. And also getting the way towards that Land Shark as well. If they can get that up, Chamber only using that ultimate from the get-go would be able to get a lot of free information for scouting, bring it right back to you, or execute on the enemies and then just kill them while they're detained. Like, such a strong ultimate to have, especially early on in the game.
I mean, it certainly is, and you see it's going to be an eco in full force. A couple sheriffs, a classic, and a couple specters. So obviously expecting to drop this round. It's a great job of trigger discipline, just not pulling that out.
So aggressive.
Yeah, it's extremely aggressive, but hey, might as well take some action here. You're on an eco. Larry's gonna find the trade and the spike down on the ground towards the C site. This is beautiful right now, but look how much space has been gained on A. The rotation is possible, but you're gonna have to fight through 3 members of this team, and they're all going towards window right now.
Last player standing.
I have very serious questions for Peachy right now. How do you find 2 in that scenario? Just wall banging through a wall?
It's called Spray and Pray. You might be familiar with it with your long history of playing video games.
I mean,
something I've done a lot of my time. That's for sure.
that's just immense value. That is
one more Craig given is immaculate recoil control and spray control is really the answer.
Right there.
Oh, so you mean to tell me that hitting the crouch button doesn't solve everything?
Not everything. Only most things.
No wonder I've been losing so many gunfights.
C-Dubs, no! Oh, it's too late.
It is too late. Finding the operator, and that's always something you have to fear on defense on Haven. So C-Dub's been taking a lot of space, but we're actually seeing a really good job out of Molloy here, just kind of holding sites, playing patient.
That's something we talked about at the end of last map as well. Even better sight lines to utilize operators if you want to play a Jet or a Chamber. So no Chamber for Chamber only, but Jet still finding value with the operator. And now getting that free scout, commits it into the smoke. It's going to be really hard to reacquire that ultimate for this round, especially if you're dead.
Yeah, Ty with another wallbang / through smoke / everything else kill. Apparently Ty just can't miss. And as you know, they're going to slowly aggress onto the site. Bliss is going to be here. Not going to be able to find much out of it, and that's a huge from the shadows as well to scope out the C site. Sees that it's free, a little bit of chip damage done as well, and the plant's definitely going to drop here for SNHU. It's going to be a 4v4 retake, and there is the neural theft coming out as well. So everybody's been spotted. Agran knows where the defense is coming from, and this is going to be massive right there. Knowing where the retake is coming from is just so huge.
Yeah, allows you to completely set up, and they're completely trying to pinch and challenge the player with an operator in hand who just shorties him in the face. Instead, hits him on the way out. And this actually is going so wrong, but Hilton able to answer right back. Makes this a winnable situation. Ogren as well, and Ty not going to be done the way Peachy did. Getting revenge for the fallen comrade. 6 HP, but plenty. 5 more than you need.
6 more than they needed. Technically, you can still survive on one too, right? You can still survive on one.
6 minus 5.
I guess
we're doing collegiate Valorant here. Gotta do simple maths.
And no, simple math's overrated. It's all about watching the economy, right? We're taking microeconomics right now. The supply and demand is down right now for MU. They're going to be on an eco versus the full rifle buy-up of SNHU here in this round number 5. The door spam coming out as well. And look at this aggression once again. The eco aggression is something that we've seen out of MU multiple times. But the fact of the matter is, when you're going to be running this strat, you have to be able to trade. The Blade Storm getting popped. Max finding 3. That's the value there. C-Dub's going to find 1 in mid, but Chamber only with a Sheriff. This is where he thrives.
They're trying to cover these guns as well as SNHU. They know all the Vandals and rifles are here. Came down to a 1v1. It couldn't quite finish the fight. But honestly, for an eco round, that's almost as good as you'd like. Obviously, getting the win is what you'd like. But I also really love that they all fought for the orb for Max as well. Just getting that Blaze Storm online, clearly stepped up with it. I love the confidence in Max being able to pull off the Blaze Storm kills. The triple kill is huge. That situation. If Chamber could just barely get a rifle that situation, maybe it could have been a different round. So close. So close.
It is so close. And of course it's Ty alone in the 1v1. Haven't seen him lose one yet. So you just, unfortunate circumstances there. You take out the Killjoy, I think you probably win that round, to be quite honest with you. But here is the spot where Ye made himself famous, but actually going to get spotted out. It's a great camera to just get some early intel, push the operator off of sewer, and now you're going to have just a little bit more free reign over the site. The smoke's coming in, the dash in, attacker Killjoy used as well to just kind of flood everybody off of this site. And we're not actually seeing the counter Killjoy just yet. I think they're going to save that up, but you do have to deal with the rolling thunder as well. So this is going to be a little bit difficult, knowing that everybody's already been pushed off of site where they're going to be coming back from. But that double flank is something to keep an eye out for here. The C-Dub's going to be in some massive trouble as long as it works, as well as the Killjoy being used on the other side. The lockdown is going to be there as the floodgates come in.
Really ambitious attack from SNHU, all down to just Peachy, who got a spray transfer for a double kill earlier. Can't find the frags through the smoke, gets taken out themselves. That push through a link was definitely ambitious, is the word I'll use for it, because they used the Rolling Thunder to try to challenge a person dropping lockdown, but they didn't account for the fact that that's Rolling Thunder doesn't really cover for stairs very well for the back towards defender spawn, and it was smoked off. However, the defending two members of Larry and Rubintis said, all right, we'll smoked off. We're just going to swing through here because we know you're swinging through trying to challenge over towards B in A-Link. So they came right behind Agra, and I believe it was Ty with them, and just able to spray in the back, basically, get the kills. I mean, of course, Bliss fell, but 2-for-1 trade. You keep the lockdown online. It's a great situation for Molloy. A little overcooked, a little too ambitious for my SNHU.
Yeah, I mean, but that's kind of where they thrived. I mean, you just want to map 12, 12-3. You're going to expect those overheats to come through. Is Chamber only going to hit the Dizzy? Oh, no. The spray just doesn't work out, and Agrand's just going to turn and one tap after taking 140 damage. That's crazy to open this round. And yet again, another 4v4 retake. Only ultimate on the board is the From the Shadows. There's going to be a lot of work with on both teams right now, as the flash already being popped. You're seeing that utility get used, and Hilton's going to find 1 on the Cypher.
Chamber only hits that with a headhunter, just saying.
Oh, facts.
Yep. It's going to be a save for Molloy, which I think is a fair call. There's a lot of utility still online for SNHU because you haven't clocked everything yet. It's going to be 4 versus 3. They're spread out, ready for angles. And the time is ticking so low. It's planted for long as well. You already seen that visually confirmation, or at least audible. And, yeah, it's going to be 4-3 for SNHU going to the next round.
Yeah, and unfortunately the way Seaside is laid out, right, it's more like a 2v4 retake and not an actual 3v4 retake. That is very ballsy right there by the breach to just stand there in front of where the spike is going to go. But hey, props to them for knowing the exact location and not having a Tozy peeking out and losing a rifle for no reason. But yeah, the operator just doesn't really make a lot of sense retaking from CT. It's really hard to get a decent angle on that without getting swung from 2 or 3 different directions, because you have somebody that could be playing, behind the tall box. You have somebody that could be playing behind, basically behind like the mid of the site. So like it's really easy to get double swung in that situation. I think saving an operator is much more important, especially when you have the economy to buy up again. I think it's a really good call from MU.
Wow, yet again, Max is not getting smoked off from fairly common operator angles. We saw that earlier on A site about 2 rounds ago, and we saw it literally just now.
And Hilton entry Cypher? Question mark? Exclamation point?
Heck yeah.
Cypher leading the pack. Love to see the Sentinels getting active.
New meta. New meta.
Every ranked game meta ever, as Larry is actually going to TP inside of the cage. This This is going to be something. Are they going to check the close left corner is the question. The flash comes out. Rubentus has the trade at least. It's a great flick coming out from Hilton. Still tough sledding ahead. C-Dub's going to be able to find one now. It's a 2v4 retake, and you have to commit to this one. You already saved last round. You don't want to do it again. The bullying is going to come through. Peachy wraps around Garage. It's going to be 5-3 right now in favor of SNHU. MU looked very strong. Of course, the pistol, the anti-eco. It seems like that momentum's falling by the wayside just a little bit as we expect him to drop this round as well. Of course, being on that eco, barring an abject disaster from SNHU.
Yeah, that one round that SNHU lost as well beyond the pistol anti-eco was also that round where they tried for that Rolling Thunder play without proper setup. Little loose and sloppy ever since. You see them tighten up a little bit, a little more buttoned up. So I think they just had a little bit of a hubris, a little bit of a sloppiness and laziness, thinking that they're going to be fine doing whatever they wanted, but realizing, you know what, Molloy is actually an opponent that we do need to respect. So let's go and continue playing a little bit cleaner.
Yeah, and clean play is kind of what we're expecting here. Is we're not seeing the rush on the eco this time, which not a surprise, right? You have at least some guns. We're going to see Max here once again. Going to be holding Garage this time. Peeks long. Catches a little bit of chip damage onto one. Gets that 101 down, but now trapped in this corner. That's going to be dangerous. And C-Dub's going to be able to take them out with the wall bang. Everybody comes flooding in from the backside of site. The smoke's coming out. It's not going to be enough to delay the plant, however, as Rubentus trying to catch one off guard. There's Wingman. Are they going to be able to deal with it? It doesn't seem like that found anything as well. Good flash coming out. Rubentus and Agran's gonna find two with a shorty? Are you kidding me?
Man. Clean house was SNHU. I thought that Dizzy was going to get huge value. I don't know if it popped off or got shot down last second. Definitely good utility opportunity. But problem with like Gecko though, why a lot of teams are kind of having a hard time figuring out how to properly use this agent, is if you throw utility, a lot of it is really easy to shoot out. The Wingman, the Dizzy, gunning them down is pretty standard for players at the skill level when you're just in a location that they're generally going to be looking at anyway. That seems to be the case of what just happened there. Another timeout from Molloy. See what they can do about bringing back this game. I think overall their game plan hasn't been terrible for defense. I feel like it's a little similar situation as what we saw in Lotus, where they're just slightly behind on tempo for macro play. That SNHU is just faster on the gun. They're faster on the rotation. They're getting set up in ways that Molloy is just slightly not accounting for properly. You saw like the lurk from Peachy just recently, things like that. Like, Molloy needs to they need to kick into that next gear, it feels like, and it's harder to say like just do that, because it takes a lot of effort and coordination to actually be able to pull that off.
Yeah, and I mean, we noticed at the very start of the game that the 1v1s were being won. That's kind of shifting a little bit back in SNHU's favor. So you have to really aggress that by trading out and being effective and being more communicative. We're not seeing that yet. But I also have to say, like you mentioned about Dizzy especially, right? It's essentially a Reyna Lear with no HP. Like it's really difficult at this level to not expect somebody to be able to accurately shoot that right off the rip.
Yeah, I think what a lot of people are doing with Dizzy these days is just throwing it for safe scouting over walls, especially short walls. Like I saw from like Waterfall from Lotus, for example.
Yeah.
But they're not really using it for scouting purposes much. And I would like to see this ult come back so they can recover it. Didn't quite make it all the way back, but they should still be able to get back. So we'll see that coming out again this round.
Certainly will.
One of the great strengths of Gecko, honestly, having an ultimate more than once in a round is insane. That's no risk scouting, and you can keep using it again if nobody's there. It's like nothing happened, and if somebody was there, you get this.
Yeah, you get two. They actually got two with that one as well. The blind for blind going to come out as well, as there is Peachy able to find the frag. It's shots all over the place. 2v2 now happening. It's going to be a complete retake. We're going to see how this breaks down. Bliss obviously going to be there as well. Rolling Thunder is going to be committed, and Peachy's going to go ahead and try to swing this. And it is a complete crossfire situation right now. That is not ideal, but Peachy's going to tuck back into this corner. The question is, are they going to check it? And there is the wall bang. Here's C-Dubs alone in a 1v2. You just have to play this together if you're going to take the dub. C-Dubs actually isolates one, finds the frag, finds a second onto Rubentus, and SNHU continues steamrolling after the gun rounds.
Their name is C Dubs, not C Losses. All I'm saying.
Facts.
And Chamber only is not on Chamber, so here we are.
Yeah,
you gotta stay true to your name. It's the way to go. You don't want to curse yourself.
Yeah, so C-Dubs doesn't lose, and Chamber only rejected the Chamber gods and is being punished for it, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I continue to like what I'm seeing out of MU. It's just like those little small plays right there.
Whoa.
Ooh, I like the aggressive double updraft. Of course, that
looks like fun.
It always is fun, but unfortunately, not going to be able to find that as Peachy's going to find an opening frag on Omen. So your controller getting active here as well as this default kind of progresses out, and Agran going to be able to find Bliss, and this is just going to be more and more difficult to try to swing through right now as Hilton's just smoking themselves onto the site. Ty's going to be able to find one, Agran finds another, and it is complete isolation. The neural theft going to be committed as well for funsies. Let's find the last person. It is flawless. They're going to hold on to the weapons, and right now SNHU doing a phenomenal job of just kind of reading out MU, and you continue to harp on the macro play, and I can't say that you're more right, Chad. It just seems like SNHU continues to have the hard read on what MU is going to be doing.
Yeah, they didn't have the Rolling Thunder ultimate that round, but SNHU was the Rolling Thunder in that round. They just literally just W keyed and just systematically used utility after knowing generally the locations where defenders would hold, and just flushed them out and oppressed them in a way that it definitely felt like Molloy couldn't really do anything. Les Max has an operator in hand, continue not to be smoked out properly by SNHU, which is really the one fault I'd say towards this attacking team has had.
Certainly is. The flush out right there. Chamber only. Oh, that's a beautiful headshot. Chamber only going to get 4 here? Okay, solid. Hey. Oh, we get to see Thrash again, baby. Once detained. I love that you can still detain teammates with Thrash. I think it's great. That always cracks me up. Okay, so, you swung 4. There's no curse in play anymore, which I don't know if that would favor MU or not. And I'm not really a big believer in curses anyway, but... At the end of the day,
I'll take A4 every day over 9-3.
Oh, absolutely, because you win another pistol, you win an anti-eco, it's a 2-round game.
Yeah. And I'd say Gecko honestly has a lot of strength in pistol rounds, because one of the issues with pistol rounds for a lot of teams is you have really low amount of utility, but if you can just recycle your utility as efficiently and fast as Gecko can, then if you play the round properly, you have such an advantage over the opposition. Especially on a map like Haven, where the defense is usually spread out. This paranoia might come through, though, on a really good timing for Ty.
We're going to see if it does. They're definitely going to hear that. There's the paranoia as well, but unfortunately, Max not blinded off of it. Just unfortunate circumstance right there. One's actually going to get hit by Dizzy, but it doesn't seem to matter. There are smokes all over this site. You're going to see the fault line coming in as well, potentially looking to stun everybody that is sitting here in sewer. And nobody's aggressed up long at all yet. And Agran's going to have 1v1s on the backside of this as well, as Larry gets one, but Hilton and Agran are going to combine.
No, protect him!
Wingman, no! Well, I mean, when you only have one person alive, it's going to be hard to protect them, to be fair, when there's 3 other members. As Max here right now trying to swing out through everybody, just gets completely collapsed on. And 9-4 in favor of SNHU. So they lost the pistol on attack, and so did MU. So they're pretty much even on pistol rounds so far.
Yeah.
Do you force here is my question if you're MU?
I personally wouldn't. I don't think it's bad to force here, but the forcing meta is a little outdated at this point. The context doesn't work that way, and people kind of gotten used to how to prepare for forces. They're going to go for it. I'm not against it whatsoever. Full armor for Max even. Just going to try to lead the charge.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. You're going to be rushing and hitting this B site with the swiftness. Dash already online. We're going to see, of course, that alarm bot get popped as well. C-Dub's going to be able to find one with a frenzy, looking to get a flash. There is a... How are they not dead? Max with 41 HP right here. Going to be able to find one, not able to find a second, but Hilton is on 0 HP, but this force has already been dwindled down to 2 weapons, and those are both stingers. You don't have anything or anyone on site, and this is the problem with planting on B, is the retake is always so difficult as one swings through. There's Hilton with the running gun. Rubenza's going to find 2 to match it up, make it 3. Are they going to be able to find another one is the question.
He's sticking it! You can see him sticking it! Oh, no. You can see it going up, buddy. The literal spike is going upwards on the defuse. You know they're holding it.
Pain. Oh, pain.
that was a situation they should not have been in the first place, in my opinion. That was a miracle Rubentus was hitting literally every shot, getting a triple in that situation, living. Molloy forced on Lotus, and they failed it. They forced here, they failed as well. And still, I'm not against it, because, yeah, you lost it, so now it's going to be like a 3-round lead gained from SNHU versus just a 2 normally, assuming you win the anti-bonus. But you have, like, 2 more to give after this one if you lose it, so you still have some wiggle room to play with if you lost. Whereas if it was like a 11-3 situation or something, or like a 10-3, I would say probably not, because it'd be a little bit too tight.
Yeah, no.
Breathing room.
Completely agree. That's why that 4th round's important, right? You can feel comfortable forcing here, knowing you're essentially playing for 11. It's not as big of a deal as look at the rotation here from SNHU. There's 4 stacked on the C site right now. And I don't think nobody on MU has realized this, or nobody is taking up any more space as the camera spots out the Gecko. So there's going to be a small rotation coming back over, and with 1 down, of course, picking off that Jet. Spike is down in the spawn, and Ty's going to find another one as well. This is going to be tough sledding ahead as Ty finds another head once again.
It's a little interesting smoke over towards A site that SNH themselves that gives a lot of areas for the attacking team to fan out from, instead of making it kind of like a solid flat wall for them to have to come out of. But anyway, it's going to be attack onto A site, one that's going to be a little bit tough to pull off. Not really much to talk about. It's going to be rifles ready for them when they have just sheriffs in hand. And SNHU up to 11-4, running away with this game similar to how they did on Lotus.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen good plays out of Max, right? Especially that Blade Storm getting a 3K. Unfortunately, not able to convert that round when it came down to a 1v1. Like, we're seeing the openings of round be so pretty, and it's just SNHU almost always has an answer. It's like we're watching, the huge underdog fighting like the heavyweight boxer, and so they just decided to throw haymakers instead of throwing their own, like playing their own game plan or their own match plan. It's kind of what I'm seeing right now, is Wingman is going to be taking a trip down sewer real quick to try to clear that out. There is a nice little Cypher cam right there, and Agran gonna find one. Gets a little greedy there, though. I mean, that's kind of why you use your dash, right? Get one, get out, play your life, continue to take that space, as this default is just going to continue after the pick is found on A-Long.
Chamber only not using that Gecko utility in a way of recycling, just definitely aggressive. Throwing the Disney away, you can't really recover it because he threw it over the wall instead of straight up. Wingman was sent into sewers, not finding anything. Hard to really recover the Wingman alone.
Watching here.
So maybe a little bit, little reckless play. Not the cleanest. Trade 1 for 1 though, because Agran kind of did the same thing, which we saw them do on a C lobby, like almost right off the bat. Round 2 of Lotus, player who is definitely willing to push forward and take the more risky plays to get higher risk, higher reward scenarios.
That flash is going to connect. Nano Swarm's going to be popped, and there's Beachy. Going to get triple swung off of that at least.
Doing the same thing.
Is going to be dropped. 3v3 here. I mean, that is a one and done angle though. You're not expecting to get any more out of that. So luckily enough for them, although no smokes remaining, but Max going to be able to start finding some utility out of his gun here. Finds a frag, sends it down to a 3v2. This gun round looking like it's in favor of MU. They're going to have to do some work to secure this. We've seen these retakes, even the 2-person retakes from SNHU, be deadly.
Whew. No smokes from SNHU, so it's going to be a little bit hard for them to actually win this post-plant situation. Turk on is good. No more free peeking for Molloy. Fault line coming out would be huge.
One enemy remaining.
Would be. It would be, but it didn't. Time was kind of dwindling down. Obviously, in a 2v3 retake, you have to take your time. You have to clear out all of the angles together. You don't want to take a 1v1 and put somebody else into a 3v1 scenario. And just a little bit too much time taken to get on site there. Obviously, the flashes have been burned, but a fault line there would have been absolutely massive. Seeing that turret in that position, of course, I think kind of really frees you up to at least know one is there and try to get that value out of it. Didn't happen that round, so MU is going to be able to swing through it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, SNHU didn't know exactly where the 2 Molloy members were, but the company is a pretty common holds position, and on the far back left of C lobby would be another common hold position out of the 3 for playing for long. So if you just fault line 2 of the 3 angles and just watch the 3rd angle, for your teammate. You can get a pretty free half defuse at the very least, and pop off and have guns out when the enemy challenges. Nice spam by Chamber only. Going and just doing some little due diligence, clearing angles that in positions commonly held, especially since utility was used to get them walked up.
No chip damage found either.
Agrin's in a tough spot. Gun in hand though.
He hasn't been
bailed out by Hilton. Oh my god, clear of that.
Down A.
Overheats again.
Well, they're stunned at that, or not stunned, but they're suppressed at that point, so there's not really much they can do. So we're going to see, of course, the Rolling Thunder be used in essence in trying to secure this round, and unfortunately you don't have enough speed to get out of this alive, or do you? Rubentus somehow gets unconcussed from that Rolling Thunder, able to escape by with their life. They should be able to at least secure a plant, so you might be playing on 12. Good news is though that, you know, maybe $300 will get you enough, but it looking like in time here, C-Dubs does get the flash out, and there is the head, able to find it even though they're suppressed. Doesn't mean you can't shoot your gun. It's a great angle to get on top of logs with, an SNHU on match point to send them to the grand finals for the ECC conference right here. This is huge for them, reigning champions, and they're showing why today.
C-Dubs training for a 5K in that round, like literally running all the way over to A site. Oh, gotta go B, you go C, running all the way to C. And then it was there before Rubentus even made it there. I'm cool with the Renault theft being used in a 3v1 situation. And a map as wide as Haven, it's kind of easy to catch people in rotations and do a little guerrilla tactics to find your quick little 1v1s.
We're going to see Thrash here as well. Thrash gets stunned, so going to be slowed down a little bit and just automatically commits it again, going through that Cypher cage, not able to get any value out of it, and Agran's going to be able to find 2 here, and it's just a bloodbath right now as Agran finds 3. Let's just go ahead and make it 4, and that's how the match ends. It's going to be SNHU coming out big, winning 2 matchups. The first one, 12-3. The second one, 12-5. Both the 3-site maps coming in clutch for them as they move on to the grand finals of the ECC conference. And Chad, I mean, we just continue to kind of see that team play, and that breach was completely clutch, that entire map for SNHU.
Yeah, C-Dubs definitely played immaculately. Honestly, the entire team did. They definitely overheated sometimes, we call that, but honestly, I feel like, well, I at least would hope that if they were in a lot tighter and closer round match, then they wouldn't play that loose and reckless. They definitely had a lot of breathing room to work with, and I feel like that confidence, that feeling of, okay, we're going to get this win, we have a lot of room to work with. They just go for bigger highlight moments for themselves, a little bit of TikTok action or something, who knows, but definitely when matches were close, especially when we saw them lose that one round on the attacking side where they went for the Rolling Thunder, play fast and loose. Oh, we lost, and now this is a little bit of a closer match. You saw them button up a lot, played a lot more clean, and destroyed the next following few rounds. And then we had the lead again. Then we saw like Agran and Peachy go for like a little more overheating plays again. Honestly, that was really the only like thing I could say about their attack is that, but then also just not smoking off operator lines sometimes. But like, man, were they clean otherwise. Like that was a really good map. And honestly, a lot of it was just them being ahead of the tempo. The 3-lane maps, 3-site maps, I should say, just really good at pushing polling, rotations, and also reading the opponent of Molloy, knowing where Molloy's trying to go to, and almost always being there ready for Molloy, no matter where Molloy tried going.
Yeah, it was just right space at the right time, and it was more opportunity equals success more so than luck. I think the key point for me, for SNHU, for both of these maps was how effectively they took map control. Whenever they saw pockets where nobody was or there was no utility covering everything, they were instantly into those parts of the map and just applying pressure and kind of collapsing on Molloy. And it's really hard to win games in a tactical shooter like Valorant or any tactical shooter when you are getting pinched from multiple sides, especially when you're dealing with 3 sites on the availability to plant versus 2, and cutting off 2/3 of the map and not allowing rotates out of it. It's just massive, honestly. And I want to say it's probably the thing that impressed me the most about SNHU today was just their ability to take map control and find that space without having to get traded, without having to worry about anything else. They weren't too aggressive with it, until they actually found one. And yeah, maybe they would have stayed a little bit too long, but they did a phenomenal job really of just kind of going through and just systematically controlling maps into their favor. And I guess it's a testament in why they were the champion last semester and why it's trending that way this semester as well.
Yeah, definitely a very impressive performance at SNHU, a team that I wouldn't be surprised if they're considered to be the favorites going into the finals as well. We'll have to see what the opposition on those other semifinals look like to really get a little gauge on that one. But we definitely know it's going to be a really exciting finals no matter what, especially with a team like the caliber of SNHU in there.
Yeah, I mean, just the utility combinations, everything else they throw together. And an integral part of that is going to be joining us after we get to catch our breath just a little bit after that banger matchup. We're going to be getting Ty in with SNHU, so stick around. Right after this, we're going to be speaking to Ty, asking him a few questions and kind of poking and prodding to see who they think they're going to be taking on in the finals. We'll be back right after this on Esports U2.
You can see all of the great moments we are getting out of collegiate esports. One of my favorite things about these seasons is as they go on, as the years continue to pass, the skill ceiling just gets higher and higher, and the teams get better and better. Starting things off in week 1 and 2, these teams came out the gate swinging. Let's take a look at what they were ready to bring out in these early weeks. Valorant is a game all about risk versus reward, and Sin from NYIT wanted to show us just how much he was willing to risk to get that great reward of a round win.
Forced to pop off, maybe get a little bit more sniper play, but these direct tight angles make it tough. You have Axeris that actually gets a wall bang headshot onto Prime. Oh, that timing on the paranoia works so well.
Yo, give it up for the util, bro. Sin's gonna pick up 3 into the site. It's a lurk on its way from the chamber, but unless you're gonna spam through this box, you're not getting anything done, and Panda won't even let him get that far.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is a game that can be decided in milliseconds, and Waka, one of the best players from SUNY Canton A Squad, wanted to show us just what they can do with only a second and a single stock on the board.
Cena, Sledge option gonna be charging for Smash going a little early. They're not quite getting what you want. Drop shield after first hit of Pin, getting hit by the kick. High percent. There is the stun into Claw. That Claw could have been charged for a lot longer. Oh my goodness, that's a forwarder into stage with the stage spike and then upping immediately after. What a sick.
1 point in Rocket League can never make a team feel comfortable, but Driftsy wanted to show us that not only was he going to pick the pace up, but he wasn't going to let his team down.
Defensive test with flying colors, though they couldn't get out, and that is the important part at the moment. Clears a must for UA, and it's just not in the cards at the moment.
Dripsy! Dripsy connects off the backboard! What a shot! I watched it unfold slowly! You stopped speaking at just the right moment.
Valorant is often called a team-based shooter, but sometimes it can't just be about the team. Sometimes you gotta have those hero plays. Spec wanted to spray and pray and was actually able to save the day for SVSU, tying up the series 7-7.
Hard B push here, 2 Omen smokes coming out. 1, oh, Spec just finds 3.
What?
Spraying through the smoke? Oh, what, Spec? That's not legal, man. That's not legal. This is match day 2 of the ECC league. You can't be doing that right now. Spec just goes with the call.
Here in this clip, Fanshawe finds themselves with their backs against the wall, 20 seconds left on the clock, and they're desperate to take down Wake Forest. They don't have anything to get through this team, they don't have any weapons on the field, but with Jackie Moon in the wings, at least they had a sniper.
Apparently. Guys gonna believe all the shots. Oh, a sniper! Jackie Moon from about midway through. What a shot right here from Jackie.
Wow, good eye sniper. Yes, sir. Jackie Moon puts us on the right side. A little bit more to the left. This one would have been...
Here in this clip, we're going to get a great moment from a Pac-Man, and as a Pac-Man player, I was super excited to see it. We're going to hear a lot of praise from our commentators giving Mosey those compliments of choosing Snake against Pac-Man, a great counter pick. They were super excited to see a Snake on the field, but even without their blessing, Trollery does not yield.
Approach, but like you safe trying to play this safe because losing a stock right now for Concord would be really bad, and, well, a little bit of commentator's curse there. We kind of willed that one into existence. Oh, man. Oh my goodness! What?
Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, Septilence, how could that be all we got from weeks number 1 and 2? Please tell me there's more. If you like what you saw, you've got to go check out ECAC Esports on all social media platforms. Please see what they're bringing to the table. It is great collegiate esports week after week. On the bright side, folks, this is just the beginning. We've got the whole rest of what is guaranteed to be a great season ahead of us. Thank you so much for joining me for this recap, and I'll see you on the next one.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big
is that we don't have these preconceived notions, and we're willing to listen to our membership and read the room, read college athletics and how it's connected and how it's not, and take what we have expertise in championships, but also throw out some of the other stuff. I remember when we first started, there were some conferences were applying their amateurism rules to all of their esports competitors, and I think we knew enough to know that no, that's not going to work in an esports culture. It's got to be very different. And by the way, the NCAA was going in a different direction. You could see the train had already left the station on that, and so it's an incredibly dynamic area and ever changing, and will continue to change. And just as we didn't know when we started what it's going to be looking like, I think similarly we still don't know what it's going to be in another 5 years. I know enough to know that all of us are still going to have a thriving esports program that's doing a real good service for our members and for our competitors. But we still don't know necessarily what some of that is going to look like, and that's pretty cool about it all. Let me ask you this, because you all are used to dealing with your athletic directors, and each of them are dealing with what's in front of them in their athletic departments. My guess is at least some of your schools are that this is not necessarily operating within the athletic department. And can you talk about how you navigate that in a conference office, and maybe the best way to handle that, or do you have preferences? Do you try to steer them one way or the other? And just talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
Sure. The majority of our schools are not under the athletics umbrella. We have one institution that perhaps by next year will be under the auspices of athletics, but most of them are in other departments across campus. Right. One of the things that has helped us is that we have support from the president's office. And so in order to
Esports U2, my name is Visionary One. Joining alongside me for this entire night has been Chad Lantis. Chad, it's been an absolute pleasure, but it's going to be even more of a pleasure when we get to talk with Ty, of course, of the Victors SNHU. Ty, how are you doing tonight, brother?
Doing great. Feels good after that win.
I'm certainly sure it does, honestly. I mean, it was a dominating performance. I mean, 13-2 and 13-5. You must feel pretty good coming out of that. Were you surprised by the Lotus pick at all?
I mean, not really. I feel like we played Lotus quite a bit. I think in ECC, especially. So it was fine. I mean, we were pretty confident coming into it.
Definitely show the confidence. A lot of times y'all would push out through, I saw Hilton going on with Agren, going out through a C main, things like that, while the rest of you on the core three of controllers and sentinels would just hold opposite side of the map so we can delay and stop the other team from pushing through. It definitely seemed like you all had an edge on the macro and reads on it. Was Molloy kind of just playing into your expectations the way that you kind of predicted, or just happenstance being ahead of them? What was it about this match that just had you all ahead of the curve so often?
I mean, no, we try to prepare quite a bit, especially for the normal season and CVAL. So, I mean, we practice like 5 to 6 times a week. Our coach helps us out a lot. So we're kind of just like prepared for anything. I feel like at this point. So I mean, it felt like a pretty standard game, nothing we haven't really seen before, and yeah, we were just having fun.
Gotcha. Speaking of preparations, what kind of things do you do on going into game day to look as good a form as you did today? I mean, came in, dominated to a situation. Is it special like snacks you have available? Is it all water? Is it exercise? What are you doing before the matches start?
I mean, we don't really want to overthink it, so we'll just treat it as a normal day. I mean, we have a warm-up scrim right before every match, and other than that, it's pretty standard. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary.
And I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. It kind of proves that y'all just take everything seriously. You don't over or undervalue any opponent you come against. You just treat it like it's a game of Valorant, and it showed up well today. I have to ask you as well, obviously, finals coming up next week. Who do you have going, or who would you prefer to go against in this final on the other side of the bracket?
I'm not really sure if we have any preference. I mean, like I said, it's just strictly business over here, so we're just going into it, playing our game, and hopefully we can win. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it would be back-to-back championships for you guys, so I don't think there's any reason not to be excited, Ty. But I'm going to give you this time to go ahead and give any shout-outs that you want to go ahead. If anybody was watching at home, any of the audience, mom, dad, girlfriend, anything like that, go ahead and let the people know that you love them, and we'll let you go ahead and finish up your night.
All right. It's funny you think I have a girlfriend, by the way. I just want to shout out just the boys on the team. They're all great. We're all really good friends. I love playing with them. It's always a fun time. I want to shout out our coach, Sutan, for always being there for us, helping us out when we have issues. He'll just talk to us. He'll let us all know what's going on, mistakes we're making, and yeah, he's a lot of help. So.
Well, Ty, I got to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to you, Chad. Do you have any final thoughts for this one other than good luck to whoever, of course, SNHU plays next week?
I mean, yeah, definitely good luck. Have fun. GG's. Definitely defending champions going back into the finals, looking to repeat. Ty wasn't on the roster last time, and now with Ty in the roster, looking incredibly more dominant. So I'm definitely looking at y'all as being the favorites going into that final match.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Well, thank you once again for joining us, Ty. That's going to wrap it up for us here at Esports U2 tonight, of course, covering the ECC Valorant semifinals. Tomorrow, Esports U2 is going to be bringing you the ECAC League of Legends quarterfinals, as well as next week we're going to be covering but we're not going to be at the ECC finals at Brooklyn, of course. Is going to be in Brooklyn on April 22nd. It's going to be the winner of SNHU, the winner tonight, versus the winner of CSI and, of course, NYIT. So that's going to be a banger matchup. We're going to be able to catch that. And then, obviously, if you're in the Brooklyn area, always go support your college Valorant teams. It's a lot of fun. Obviously, the Valorant that you're witnessing is high level. Also, as always, have to give a shout out that CECC, the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup Finals. The May Madness is heading to Texas, baby. It's going to be happening at Esports Stadium in Arlington on May 6th and 7th. And if you can't be there in person, of course, you can catch all the action here on Esports U. For more information, head to collegiatesmg.com. Again, that's collegiatesmg.com. Thank you so much for joining tonight. Again, Chad Lantis, it's been an absolute pleasure, and wouldn't be anything without the homies in the background. Of course, Professor Layton behind the scenes, doing all the work, bringing our faces onto this, bringing Ty into this. We thank you so much for sticking around with us tonight. And hey, maybe go check out the main channel. I'm pretty sure Valorant's still being played on that right now.
The Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. Let's make some noise. Oh, and it's gonna be into it.
Corner judges go for 1, 2, yeah. He needs more.
They're doing even more here. You gotta touch the point. Mr. Collins walks it in.
Toy Blank is gonna drop.
Knife him.
Right out in front.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Running.
Supposed to feel
quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big.
That's so cute. UCF, and it's really cute. So I'm gonna move down here. How do we feel? The odds for UCF? What are we thinking?
They got it.
No, we got this. We got it. We got it. Go Knights. Charge on.
100%. My friend Nick is behind you. He's gonna record it. Don't look at him. You'll ruin the shot. Don't look at him. Don't look at him.
Come on. Oh, let's go! Let's go!
My smile's probably really creepy. I was just being weird. Oh, I love being in the shadows, though. Big shout out to the shadows. We could interview Dilly just because I think he's handsome. Are you supposed to hear?
Here's the thing about the event. I'm the greatest that's ever lived.
Literally true. I know him.
I think everyone knows that. I think everyone's aware of that.
Hey, do you have a VIP access badge on?
I actually have an all access.
Oh, an all access. I thought it said VIP access.
And that's only available for the best.
That's true. He's right. That's a main stage TO right there.
If this goes live, I'm suing everybody.
It's all right. A video of me, the first clip is me saying, don't put that in. And then it was the first, cut the cameras. Oh, you're recording already? Great. So this is this is Bay State versus UCF. I believe something that we saw yesterday on day one of the tournament, but instead we're going to have that run back here. I think they're fighting for a spot in Grand Finals. Anarchy, one of the best Greninja players in the United States, currently struggling against a Terry. Terry notorious for that DLC privilege, being a very strong character with some very strong abilities. Greninja, not so much, considered one of the weaker characters in the game. A Falco player, one of the best in the United States, and he just got spiked by a Terry. Same Terry that took out Anarchy literally minutes ago. UCF still up by 2 stocks. This guy is looking to rip this team apart single-handedly. That is, I mean, nuts, to say the very least. Absolutely absurd. That was a disgusting spike. I cannot believe that happened. Will you hold the microphone so I can sign this? Sorry.
For context, he's got a fan. He's actually signing something. He's so excited.
What was it like to not hear my voice for 2 minutes? For 30 seconds, maybe. What was it like? Probably bliss. I was signing a mouse pad, which is really cool. I've never done that before. Nobody's ever asked me for a signature, so I'm going to start blushing, but I'm really excited about that. And then he wants a picture. Can you take a picture of us? I said, is it bad? She went, no. I'm going to go ahead and take that as a yes.
Turns out I can't tie a tie sitting down.
What do you think is the appropriate face-to-screen ratio for a Valorant player?
Face to screen, like how close I sit?
Yeah, like how close should a player sit?
Personally, I play really, really close. I think it depends on your eyesight, but for me, I like playing close because it helps me focus on my crosshair.
Is the value of sitting close, the crosshair being the only thing in your line of sight?
Yeah, that's pretty much the main benefit of it.
It's so funny how close some of these guys sit. Oh my goodness. What do you think is the healthy face-to-screen distance for a Valorant player?
I think it's all kind of personal preference. I guess I would consider myself like pretty close when I play because I like to zone in on my crosshair.
It is the second person to say that. It's all about the crosshair. And then what's up with the horizontal keyboard?
Like it just kind of fits like the form when I'm close to monitor. Like I don't know, it might sound cringy, but I like to like be one with my gun. You know?
No, bro, I feel it. I feel it absolutely. What is going on, everybody? I am here with some UCF fans. How are we feeling about UCF? Let's go! Let's go! We've got a bunch of UCF fans in the crowd right now. UCF, they're up by a single game. They're looking to find their third and possibly final, secure a spot moving forward. Things looking great.